guys, this is Sugar Cyanide from House of Cyanide. This is take 3 of this video. I was halfway through it and my camera went dark and I was paranoid that it wasn't recording and I was just talking to myself and it really was recording. So I started all over again. Anyways, I wanted to do a video about materialism and buying products and spell work and things of that nature. To me, it's kind of all lumped in what I want to say today. So I know when a lot of new people who get into paganism and witchcraft and all of that, they feel the need to go out and buy all new supplies. And I understand, because when you're reading a lot of books, you know, it'll say, use your athame to cast a circle, and you're like, well, crap, I don't have an athame. I have to go get one. Or it'll say, you know, use your wand for the spell, and you're like, well, how can I do the spell if I don't have a wand, right? So, my best analogy for spell work is to think of it like cooking, okay? And my favorite analogy is Mom's spaghetti. Okay, so I look at books on spells and rituals and that other people have written, like recipes, and I'll skim through them and see if they have any ideas that I might like, or if you know, they have, you know, anything that I want to use, and I'll take from that and make my own. Okay, just like I do the same thing when I cook. I'll skim through a recipe and be like, I like this, this, and this, and this. I don't particularly like this food product. I'm, you know, either going to substitute it or something along those lines, okay? People who are vegetarian or vegan do this all the time when it comes to cooking, right, guys? All the time. So think of your spell work like that, alright? And my whole analogy with Mom's spaghetti is most people should be familiar with the concept of Mom's spaghetti. Mom's spaghetti is Mom's homemade spaghetti. So either your mom cooked, or your dad cooked, or your grandma cooked, or your best friend's mom cooked and you had her homemade spaghetti, right? Everybody has that one maternal woman in their life, or father, that cooks, and they have their signature dish, okay? That signature dish always tastes like that person's signature dish. Someone else could make it and it doesn't taste the same. However, if you talk to this person, you ask them, what recipe do you use? They'll be like, I don't use a recipe. I just use a pinch of this, a dollop of that, a handful of this, and just toss it all in and I make it. But it tastes like theirs every single time. It might taste different because maybe they use different ingredients depending on what they had on hand, but it always tastes like Mom's spaghetti. Okay? This is what I equate spell work with. Okay? Once you get more comfortable in your spirituality, or, you know, with what you're doing, you need to have your Mom's spaghetti into your work. You need to have your signature energy put into your work, and you should be able to do your most personal, deepest, powerful spell work and rituals without following a recipe, without following a piece of paper. You know, you shouldn't have to, and again, this is all my opinion, but you shouldn't have to read off of a piece of paper. You know, if you want to write the words ahead of time, I can understand wanting to do that. But for me, it's really hard to be heartfelt and come from a pure place if I'm reading a piece of paper. It distracts me. Okay? So, I do everything intuitively. I am highly intuitive. I'm Cancer, and I'm a female, highly intuitive. So I speak from the heart when I'm doing any spell work, when I'm doing any rituals, okay? I speak from the heart. I do choose my words carefully, because you got to be careful what you wish for. I do choose my words carefully, but I speak from the heart. I don't usually write out my words in advance, unless I'm doing some heavy-duty big stuff. Another thing is I don't usually cast a circle. when I'm doing spell work. You know, I usually just envision, you know, I have my sacred space. I consider my entire house my sacred space, and I keep my whole house protected at all times. And so I keep my entire house as my sacred space. So I don't need to put up a circle because my entire house is my sacred space. So if I do any kind of ritual or magic or spell work or whatever term you want to use in my home, it's already sacred space. I do live my practice every single day. I do get kicked in the butt by the deities that I work with if I do start to slack, and if I slack for a long period of time, you know, my life will kind of go in a downward spiral until I get myself back in order. But that's because I've made a personal commitment. That's not something that will happen to everybody, you know. I believe that there's all different walks of life in the pagan community. There are those that are drawn to be shamans or witches or hedge witches or shamanistic witches. Those that are drawn to be, you know, the liturgical clergy. And then those that are just lay pagans. They celebrate the 8 Sabbats, and, you know, they believe in, you know, whatever gods and goddesses that they believe in. But they're more focused on their mundane life. And that's okay. Not everyone is going to be this spiritually committed. Not everyone is called for that. And that's okay. Some people, you know, sometimes there needs to be, you know, the people to keep the ships running. Not everybody can be the captain, you know. There's got to be the guy that shovels the coal in the engine to keep it going. If everybody tries to be the captain, the ship's not getting anywhere. So, I speak a lot in analogies. So, that's my concept on spell work. And the reason why it rolls into materialism is I don't believe that you need to go out and buy or get your ritual tools. I believe that you can use what's in your home. Like I said, I have my entire house concentrated as sacred space. I do not let people in my front door that I don't like. If I don't like you, you're not welcome inside. If I really don't like you, I don't even tell you my address. I'm not going to let people know where I live. If I don't want them in my home, they're not going to be in my home. You know, it might be rude, but if I don't like you, I don't want your energy in my home. So, simple as that. It hasn't been a problem, so I'm not really worried about it. Back to what I was saying, because I went on a tangent, is I believe that your ritual tools can be your everyday objects. And the reason why is because if you're using something every single day, if it's with you every single day, you're putting your energy into it every single day. Even if you're not realizing it, you're putting your energy into it. And to me, that's going to be a lot more powerful to use in your ritual or your spell work than something that you pick up once a month. If it sits in a drawer once a month, maybe even if it's next to a crystal, it's not connected to you. You know? I also am an animist, which means that I believe everything is sentient. Everything in the natural world, let me preface that. Everything in the natural world is sentient. Okay? So, rocks are sentient. Plants are sentient. Animals most definitely are sentient. And what I mean by sentient is they're not just sentient, but they have souls. You can speak to them. You can work with them. They are alien to us. And alien meaning very different. They do not think the way that we do. Their brain does not work the way that we do. And in order to communicate with them, you have to do so on their level. So most people do not have the ability to do so. Another tangent. Back to what I was saying about ritual tools. I need to do a ton of videos. if you feel the need to buy a tool, be my guest, please do so. If it's a handmade tool, not manufactured, handmade, it'll be so much more powerful than something that was manufactured, because whoever hand makes it puts their energy into making it. They put their energy when they hand make something. To hand make something it takes a lot longer than to manufacture something. A lot longer. I make beaded necklaces, and to string the beads on, maybe 30 minutes or so. But that doesn't include the design time. That doesn't include the, you know, those beads just don't look right together. I gotta take it all apart, remake it, lay out the design differently, and it's not just laying out right, or it's not quite long enough, or there's something I don't like about it. You know, so sometimes I'll remake a necklace 3 or 4 times. So usually when I make something, you know, I usually spend 2 or 3 hours on it. When I hand make a one-of-a-kind piece, and all of my jewelry is one-of-a-kind. I don't make lots of the same thing. I make it once, and then that's it. So to get something handmade for your ritual tools, if you can make it yourself, all the better. If you're not an artist, if you're not an artisan, I understand. You know, that's not where your talent lies. That's fine. Antique items. I love antique items. Everybody tells you to cleanse antique items or second-hand items to get rid of, you know, the other person's energy or whatever. My opinion, don't cleanse it. Commune with the energy. If it's a positive energy, why would you want to cleanse all that positive energy that was already in it that you can now use to your purposes? So you only really need to cleanse it if it's a negative energy. So that's another thing you need to think about, is if you're working with something secondhand, you know, why not already tap into what's already there? Okay? That's pretty much that. You know, on that subject, and this video's totally all over the place. I'm not concentrating at all right now. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Alrighty, talk to you later. Bye.